Welcome to this week's Learn to Learn session. This week, I'm going to share with you a technique that will help you get more work done in less time. It's an effective technique to fight procrastination and help us to stay focused and get the task or tasks completed. What does procrastination mean? Procrastination is when we put things off. So if you've got a piece of homework that you know you really don't want to do for whatever reason, you find it difficult, you don't like the subject, and you do anything you can, including tidying your room, before you try and get on with that work. That's procrastination, where you're putting things off. Hopefully this strategy will help you to get those tasks done quickly and effectively, and you won't be so fearful of getting them done. And once you've done something that you don't like doing and getting it done quickly, everything else seems a lot easier. Now, the name of this technique is the Pomodoro technique. And we'll come back to how we do it in a second. But this is the crux of the technique. The idea is that you work for 25 minutes and then you have a 5-minute rest. Now, I've already spoken to Year 11 about revision sessions being 30 to 40 minutes long. And this technique could be used to revolutionise your sessions that you're currently doing and will be doing more of as you get closer to your exams in the summer. So where does it come from? A little bit of history. It was invented in the early 1990s by Francesco Cirillo. Now, this is an Italian guy who's a student, and he found it really difficult to focus when he had work to do. So what he did was he found that if he set himself a short period of time with a rest afterwards, he could get more work done. So obviously he'd sit down and think, right, I'm going to do 20 minutes. I'm going to get this thing done that I need to do, and then I'm going to go for a walk. He named it after the tomato-shaped timer that he used to track his work as a student at university. So it's just like an egg timer. And so Pomodoro is nothing to be scared of. It doesn't mean anything else. It's just the name of the timer that he used to time himself. It's a tried and tested method, and it does make you become more productive. So what's the theory behind it? The theory is that any large task that we have can be broken down into short timed intervals, which he would call Pomodoros. And each Pomodoro is separated by a short break. Now, the theory is that our brains have limited attention spans. We all know that. We know that after 40 minutes that we start to lose track of what we're doing. We get a little bit bored. We start looking out windows and things like that. So ideally, the theory is that we work hard for 25 minutes. It's really intense. We don't think about anything else. Very few distractions, minimal distractions if we can. And then we know that we're going to have a rest afterwards. So how do we do it? So all you need is a timer. Now, ideally, you're going to use your phone because everyone's got a phone now. But we don't want the phone to be a distraction. So I'm saying to you, put it on airplane mode. And I'm saying airplane mode so that it doesn't ping every time somebody puts a TikTok on there or anything like that, but we just use it for the timer. Before you set the timer, you need to make sure that you've chosen the task that you're going to do. Now, that might be one of many things that you've got to do. For example, you might have an Everlearner piece of work for science to do. You might have to read 2 chapters of English and make some notes on it from one of your literature books. You might be completing your maths basic skills questions. You might be wanting to write some or using Cornell notes on the history lessons that you used last week. You might want to make some revision cards or mind maps on how a Macbeth character changes throughout the play or something else. So there's lots of tasks that you could be doing, but you need to make sure that you choose a task before you set the timer. So you choose the task, get everything ready that you need, and then set the timer. As soon as you set the timer, you work on the task until the timer bleeps. It's really important that you are completely focused on that task. Try not to look at your phone to check on the time and think, how long have I got left? Just leave the timer and wait for the noise and the timer to ping off. concentrate on the work. You know you've only got 25 minutes, and the idea is that it's a focused amount of time. So you get on with that task and you think, right, after 25 minutes I'm going to stop, so I might as well just get it done. As soon as the timer beeps, stop and take a short break. Now, that short break isn't staying at your desk. It's important for this to be effective for you to get away from the desk. Go to the toilet, go for a walk around your house, get a drink, get something to eat, but 5 minutes, go away from the desk. You're then ready to go back to do another Pomodoro session on another task, so another 25 minutes. The whole point of the 25 minutes is it's intense and focused. You're not checking your phones, you're not tidying your desk, you're not checking the time. You need to make sure you are limiting your distractions. So what modifications can you make? Because at the end of the day, it's really important that this is a strategy that is effective for you. So when could you use it? You could use it for a test that you've got coming up. Year 11, you've got exams again in March. You might have some in-class tests. Year 7, 8, and 9, you might have some tests coming up. You might have some homework that you need to get done. You could be doing this every night for homework, for tasks, for anything. But it needs to be for you. And what you might find is when that timer goes off, you don't want to stop. That's okay. Carry on for another 5 minutes. Make sure you finish the task. Then stop and then have your break. You might want to alter the timing intervals that you have, and you might find that 30 minutes works better for you, or 40 minutes with a 10-minute break. It's up to you. You change it to suit you. So, good luck. Have a go in your Learn to Learn 2. Make sure you go with a task. So think what task you've got to do and make sure you have it in school so that you can use that time effectively and get something done.